Hi, I'm Dorothy. Please stop by the Phoenix Museum. We're open Monday through Friday, 1 to 4. We'd be happy to see you.
And I always wondered, why did they choose the Phoenix off-ramp to do, a multi-million-dollar?
I have no, well, yeah, they chose that because it's for Medford, for South Medford.
Yeah,
Because everybody, they wanted an outlet for the people of South Medford. It had nothing to do with Phoenix.
that's a lot of money though for people.
Yeah.
Just because people want to transit to. I mean, you could take they're taking the old back road, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that road is.
Mm-hmm. And they're enlarging, yeah.
And
Mary, and I don't know which one that is. His name's down below, one of the Culvers. Stancliffe family is another large family in Phoenix.
Stancliffe.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Bert, he lived to be 101, 102, and his family lived here forever. And he started the Associated Fruit Company there in Phoenix.
Oh, he started the Associated Fruit.
Yeah, that's Bert. And we've got
Bert Stancliffe, Stancliffe.
Yeah.
He lived to be over 100, huh?
Yes.
And
And
Elizabeth?
I'm not sure which one of the relatives that is. I'd have to look them all up.
That's okay.
But we have.
You know what? This one
Here's
is...
another picture of Bert when he was closer to 100.
Okay. You see this girl? Elva Stancliffe?
That's his sister.
That's my mother's name.
Oh.
There's Bert when he's older. Cool.
And you've down in there with the mills and whatnot. And Oatman had a motel and where actually Oatman owned the Roscoe's barbecue place, which was Nanette's family's
Oh
building.
yeah, when I first got here, I went in there and they said, there used to be a hotel or something.
Yeah, it was a hotel. Anyway, Mr. Oatman, I'm not sure what relative it is, may or may not say there, but she and her sister were captured by the Indians when they were on the way west.
This one, right?
Captured by the Indians. And she was with them for years, many years.
That woman was with them for years, huh?
And she was eventually rescued, and they tattooed her. She has tattoos on her. That picture doesn't show it terribly well, but she has tattoos on her chin
Oatman.
that they tattooed her.
I understand. I don't.
And what was really tragic is the fact that she lived with them long enough, and she was young enough when they took her, that they were actually her family.
I can imagine.
When they remodeled it a few years later, or several years later, and they took off that balcony, they put the siding over the portholes. Didn't need them anymore.
No. Never know though.
In '54,
We might have to fight ISIS, right door to door.
That's true. Who knows? Jeez. Or somebody that decides that they are going to go against the government. Hi, I'm Dorothy. Please stop by the Phoenix Museum. We're open Monday through Friday, 1 to 4. We'd be happy to see you. They have several. And that's one of them. There's some that haven't had any family dealings with them for years, which is sad.
History.
To Sam and Amelia.
Sam and Amelia? Okay.
Sam and Amelia Furry are buried here, plus all the relatives. They came to Oregon in 1860 on the wagon train. Them and a bunch of their their family. In fact, one of them even had a baby on the wagon train. I can't imagine. But anyway, they did. That's her family's plot. And there's others in the cemetery, but actually came on the wagon train. And I believe, I don't know which ones came with them. Some of their kids, but I don't know what the names were. But they had several children that came with them. Amelia's family, Southern Oregon Nursery is from there to the creek. Had his donation land claim. That's Emerson. The tall one is Emerson. The rest of his family is around. I don't know why she doesn't have a name, but Mrs. C.T. Haynes.
I noticed that.
Women don't have names.
I noticed that when it didn't say Elva, it said Mrs. And I go,
You know,
I don't think I
back there, back in 61, that they would have, it'll come up a little bit, but it doesn't. It says Mrs. Allen Cotton. She didn't have a name. Didn't have her name anywhere. Couldn't believe it.
Okay.
Fern Valley belonged to a guy named Carver. I have all the information, but I don't have it in my head. Anyhow, a man named Carver. When he moved out here, he had a family back east. His wife died. He moved out here, had another family. So he had children, grown children back east. He moved out here, had another family. When he passed away, he gave his property. He had close to like 2,000 acres. He was going to give it to his son, who didn't want it. The son that was out here didn't want it. So he ended up gave, I don't know how it transpired, but anyway, to his son back east, his daughter, Amelia. So Amelia was Carver, Amelia Carver at the time, and she married William Ferns, and got the wrong one. He's up here ways. That's his son, but there's Amelia. And they came out here and started, and she lived on a ranch, in Fern Valley. That's why they named Fern Valley after her. But the story about her is when this isn't his gravesite. His gravesite's up there. But anyway, this is another one. But it's the Ferns family. They're all over. And when they kept the farm, and until they all grew up, and then they each got a piece of it. So that's why Fern Valley was named after them. But she never got over the fact that it was supposed to be Ferns. It's supposed to have an S on it. It's supposed to be Ferns
supposed
Valley.
to be Ferns, but they named it Fern Valley.
Yeah, I think it would probably, you could say it easier than Ferns Valley. But anyway, that's what she did. And she was a remarkable lady. Two of her relatives, of the grandkids, Stan Ferns, is one of our docents at the museum. He works on Mondays.
Oh.
And another one of the grandsons is one of our board members of the museum. So they're still all over. They're still around. There's tons of family.
Great.
But Amelia's story has always amazed me.
Tell it to me again.
Which one?
Amelia.
Amelia? That Amelia purchased Amelia and her husband, William Thomas Ferns, purchased the property from her grandfather and moved out here from back east. I don't know the name. I can't remember the name of the state. Moved out here, and just not too many months later, her husband died. She had 7 children when they moved out here, all ages. And when they moved out here a few months later, he died. Left her with the entire ranch and 7 children to raise. And she managed to raise her family plus keep the ranch until they were all adult, and she divided it up amongst her children. but she did that all by herself. She had no friends, no family out here at all, just her grandfather that had died. So it was an amazing feat, and that's what Fern Valley is named after her.
Dorothy, thank you so much. A wealth of knowledge.
And we have a picture of her, too, and all her children. But it was taken probably right after, either right before or right after they got here.
Oh.
But we have a picture of them. So.
Samuel
Culver.
He and his brother Hiram.
They came out from back east with their families, and I believe it was, I'd have to look it up, but I believe it was in 51 or 2, 50 maybe. And they went to the Willamette Valley and then came down here and built the house in Phoenix. They both had donation land claims here in Phoenix. Well, it wasn't Phoenix then, but in this area. He built a house and then sold property to the people living around here, and they developed, Phoenix was built from that, was started from that. In 1854 it was started.
I'd say today that's way cool.
That's really neat. Yeah.
I think so.
Hiram's donation land claim was next to Sam's, and it wasn't like a square piece of property. It was kind of weird shape, and so his donation land claim was close to it. And his house, Hiram's house, on 2nd Street, on 1st Street, still stands.
Very good.
However, he didn't get to live in it. His wife did. He died before it was finished.
Oh, that's too bad.
There's lots and lots of stories about Sam.
Samuel
Culver.
He and his brother Hiram.
They came out from back east with their families, and I believe it was, I'd have to look it up, but I believe it was in 51 or 2, 50 maybe. And they went to the Willamette Valley and then came down here and built the house in Phoenix. They both had donation land claims here in Phoenix. Well, it wasn't Phoenix then, but in this area. He built a house and then sold property to the people living around here, and they developed, Phoenix was built from that, was started from that. In 1854 it was started.
I'd say today that's way cool.
That's really neat. Yeah.
I think so.
Hiram's donation land claim was next to Sam's, and it wasn't like a square piece of property. It was kind of weird shape, and so his donation land claim was close to it. And his house, Hiram's house, on 2nd Street, on 1st Street, still stands.
Very good.
However, he didn't get to live in it. His wife did. He died before it was finished.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay.
Okay, that's E.D. Foudray. It's Albert Downs Foudray. And he was quite well known in the area. And this was the late 1800s. He died in 1902. He lived in Jacksonville most of the time, then moved here. He married one of Hiram's daughters. He bought the grist mill from Mr. Waite, and so he had the grist mill here in Phoenix for a long time. He was also a justice of the peace. He did a lot of political stuff in Jacksonville with the courts and whatnot. But so he was quite well known in his day.
Hi there, I'm Bill Kiefer. I do videos. I have over 14 YouTube channels covering many venues, music, restaurants, anything you can think of. I have over 2,000 videos on YouTube. So give me a call if you need a video for marketing your business or yourself.